And now, without any further delay, although it's so much fun to delay, here he is on Fridays. We check in with the world of entertainment, streaming, the silver screen. They still call it the silver screen, Michael, or not?
It depends on your LED.
It depends on the LED, yeah. He comes and goes on a rainbow. He is the brilliant culture blaster, Michael Snyder, everybody. Hi, Michael.
Hey, Mark. Lovely to be back. Glad you're back. I mean, I really enjoy hanging out with Michael Shore or Mo when they join Kim in your absence. But to quote the Dobie Gray 1964 hit, The In Crowd, the original is still the greatest.
Oh, you're so sweet. It's nice to see you in person always.
Speaking of persons, I'm always amazed at the new ways the commander in beef can humiliate himself and our country on the world stage, although his latest stupid move was actually adapted from the legendary Muhammad Ali's boxing strategy. I'm talking about the Pope-a-dope, and in this case, we know who the real dope is. Yikes. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's pretty ugly.
How are we living through this? Oh, I mean, I'm glad we're still alive, but, it's touch and go here. Before we get to the movie reviews proper and talk a little bit about television shows and what have you, this weekend, I am in Los Angeles, as evidenced by the care package of mandarin oranges and lemons that I left in your kitchen.
He actually brought to the green room, mandarin oranges and lemons, which is really cool.
From my own personal orchard, Mark.
Thank
you. But
anyway,
I am a San Franciscan. I still have a place there. And this weekend, the Balboa Theater, the venerable San Francisco movie house at 3630 Balboa in the outer Richmond, will be celebrating its 100th anniversary.
Wow, that is cool.
And tonight it's
venerable as a day word.
It is. Business as usual tonight with showings of Ron Howard's Cocoon, the sci-fi fable about retirees. Francis Ford Coppola's 74 crime drama, The Conversation, with Gene Hackman, and The Fugitive, starring Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones. But tomorrow, starting at 5 p.m., the Cinema SF Gang is going to be officially celebrating that 100th anniversary. And the festivities will commence at 6 with the unveiling of a tile mural under the marquee. And then you can choose from American Graffiti, a very San Francisco coded, or Invasion of the Body Snatchers, also the remake, also SF coded, to see. And there'll be an award for the first annual Balboa Award. And it's a fundraising event. You can check out ticket access and what have you at cinemasfbay.org.
That's very cool. Michael, with a tip of the hat to his roots in San Francisco at that classic theater. And some classic films.
Right, and Sunday, if you're in the neighborhood, free movies, Star Wars Return of the Jedi or Rent.
Wow.
There's a lineup for people who haven't already gotten the passes.
There it is. Albert has it up on screen now.
I just had to do it, man. We do have a large listenership in the Bay Area. And
we do.
We should acknowledge them.
That is really cool. Isn't it weird, too, everybody? You're going to be able to get this, Michael, what I'm about to say. I know you just feel like I'm interrupting your little segment where you just prattle on and like I have to just stand out of the way. I'm trying to augment and add, and I just want to comment on the fact that all of these films that I grew up with are now like throwback classic movies. It's a weird, I'm wrestling with the fact that I'm close to the end.
Hey, and is that the end of the film or the
end of my personal film, the life film?
Let it keep spooling. Okay, let's get to movies. Let's get to new movies. Right. And when I say new movies, you can shrug at what I'm starting off with. I did a column in the Voice of San Francisco about characters and properties, literary and otherwise, that are in the public domain, like The Mummy and Frankenstein's Monster and Dracula and Robin Hood and especially Sherlock Holmes these days. They're all fair game for exploitation in multiple media because all the characters are in the public domain. So we get all these films and TV shows with variations of them, and nobody has to pay the creators, quote unquote, or the creators are whoever has decided to develop these new versions of the characters. And now we have Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
Oh, yes.
Which concerns the young kidnapped daughter of an American TV journalist in Cairo getting caught up in some ancient Egyptian hoodoo.
Oh, my God. That's the poster, the online. We're showing it. That's the movie poster?
Yeah,
Jesus,
I'm not.
Frightening.
You don't like that. You don't like that horror stuff.
No, I don't like that screaming horror
I think if you went to
stuff.
This movie, Mark, you'd be crying for your mummy. You'd be like,
Jesus.
Mummy.
The
Anyway.
the image is hideous. Yes.
I know. So this heartbroken journalist, his wife, and son returned to the U.S. without the missing girl. And then 8 years later, authorities in Egypt say, hey, we found the girl alive.
Wait a minute. There was a member of their family missing and they just returned without her?
Well, they wait for a while. I'm sorry. We do a little bit of shorthand in the movies.
We gave her an hour.
8 years later. She disappears. They do acknowledge that it's 8 years later. And you see them, they're back at their home.
So they've been mourning in the despondence of losing there. Okay.
Trust me, tears were flowing.
Okay.
And,
I'm bad. I'm sorry.
They're back in New Mexico, and apparently the Egyptians say they found the girl.
Okay.
So the now teenage daughter, a little worse for wear, joins the family. And there's now a second daughter of elementary school age there. So there's 3 kids.
Yes.
And this is, woohoo, they should be celebrating. But the girl has become kind of a cross between the possessed Regan in The Exorcist and kind of Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God. So Dad, played by Jack Rayner of Midsummer and Sing Street, and Mom, played by Leia Costa, are understandably freaked out at what's happened to their daughter. And things spiral into even more nightmarish awfulness from there. You see the influence of movie horror meister Sam Raimi on director and screenwriter Cronin, because after all, Cronin wrote and directed Evil Dead Rise, which is a kind of a balls-to-the-wall continuation of Raimi's Evil Dead franchise. That's kind of a positive for a movie like The Mummy. And the Egyptian setting of the first act of this Mummy and the callbacks are intriguing. Ultimately, it's a competent, creepy, and squishy horror movie that's somewhat adjacent to the classic Universal Pictures Mummy, but not as murky and certainly not as fun and swaggering as the reboot with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. There's a Mummy to enjoy over and over again.
What was the original premise behind The Mummy?
Archaeologists unearth a mummy in a tomb, and it's a cursed tomb, and they bring the mummy out. They're going to put it on display in some kind of museum.
And it comes to life?
And it comes to life because it has
right.
an axe to grind.
So this is it comes back with an attitude?
With a major-tude.
So this is different, though. This is clearly the girl is possessed, you're saying, by someone with a mummy?
I don't want to get into great depth on this beyond what we've already done. And I will say points are deducted for the obvious swipes and derivative elements. I mean, I was literally waiting for Mummy Girl to start whining about her precious. And
it was you're saying it looked too much like Lord of the Rings.
There was a Gollum vibe there. Okay. And also, I waited for her head to turn 360 degrees after vomiting. There are considerable globs and gusts of viscera, and despite, or perhaps because of it being part of
viscera's a dang word.
Raimi's Evil Dead universe, this Evil Dead Rise that Cronin did was better and more inventive than this. But I was I'd say I was glued to the screen for Cronin's The Mummy, although that might have been all the goo splashing around up there. For horror film buffs, this is worth a look. If you keep your expectations low, it's
What
The
else
Mummy.
do you have, Culture Blast?
I have something else for you, my friend, and I can give it, unlike The Mummy, wholehearted endorsement.
Wow, I'm excited. What is it?
Normal is a wild, funny shoot-'em-up that solidifies Bob Odenkirk, who's done dramatic work in Nebraska and Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, as an action movie star. But let's be honest, his turn as the retired assassin forced back into the game in Nobody and Nobody 2 already sealed that deal.
Right.
So it needs to be noted that Odenkirk's career kicked off as a sketch comedian alongside David Cross on HBO's Mr. Show.
It was brilliant. Loved it. Still watch it all the time.
With his comedy background and his kind of, I'd call it a beleaguered, ordinary dweeb look, he always brings this kind of dryly amusing air to his roles, even to some extent the dramatic ones. And here he's Ulysses, an interim sheriff in the quiet, seemingly upstanding Midwestern town of Normal. That's the name of the town.
Sure.
So his marriage is on the rocks. He had an unfortunate situation at his previous job, and that's haunting him. So Ulysses is happy for the peace and quiet that Normal provides, but a bank robbery throws all that out the window when the town is revealed to not be what it seems, and Normal's unexpected visitors wreak havoc on the place. As
so he's a good guy then here as a sheriff?
He's a decent guy. He's not a villain.
Oh, so he's not a villain because he was a villain in the original action film that you referenced.
No, in Nobody he's just an assassin. That doesn't mean he's necessary. He was working for the government, Mark. Are you going to start arguing with Pete Hegseth about
You're right.
the decency
he's just killing people for the government.
The Department of Defense? Come on now. So anyway, this gets outlandish, and there's kind of cartoon-level violence, death, and destruction in full effect. But Normal is well written by Odenkirk himself and Derek Kolstad, and really well directed by Great Britain's Ben Wheatley, who's made some really trippy, darkly amusing movies that I am particularly fond of, including Free Fire, Kill List, and Sightseers. And the supporting cast is super, with familiar face Lena Headey as kind of a punky local merchant. And, oh my God, Henry Winkler as the glad-handing mayor. There's kind of a nice subtext about the false front some middle Americans put up to hide their true selves.
You know how old Henry Winkler is now?
Oldish. Let's not do a quiz, Mark.
Well, I know. I don't want to introduce, but you want to take a guess? I think it must be 80.
He's pushing 80, and he's as vital and entertaining
is 80, exactly.
as ever.
Yeah.
Anyway, you
like him here. Okay, go ahead.
Odenkirk's flawed but decent sheriff is caught in the middle of this mess, and he's someone who deserves your rooting interest. Bangs, booms, and body count notwithstanding, Normal is a blast, and it is in theaters.
Great. In theaters. What else do you have?
Okay. Screenwriter-director David Lowery has made this mix of interpersonal drama and kind of dreamscapes, paranormal weirdness, and arena pop music called Mother Mary, and it stars Anne Hathaway, and she is electric as this pop music megastar, Mother Mary, who's sort of a Lady Gaga Madonna mashup with the wardrobe, as my friend Jill pointed out, the wardrobe of Dua Lipa. Anyway, in case you never saw Hathaway in the 2012 movie adaptation of the musical Les Mis, she can sing, and she does so here beautifully. And her Mother Mary character is at a crossroads in her career. She's experienced some serious mental and physical trauma and dropped out. And she seeks out her long estranged bestie, Sam, played by Michaela Cole, who was so good opposite Ian McKellen in The Christophers. Sam is a successful clothing designer who used to do Mary's stage costumes, but they had a falling out. So Mary uses the pretext of needing a special gown for her comeback concert to see Sam again, but the reunion is much more wrenching than a simple fitting for a new dress. Old wounds resurface. I mean, literally, ghostly apparitions torment the two women. You know, the movie seems to be concerned with long simmering resentment and maybe the search for forgiveness, and it suffers from a certain sketchiness to the backstory of the relationship between the women, but the art direction, cinematography, and music are lovely, and the performances by Hathaway and Cole are so compelling that they almost elevate the whole thing. By the way, Hathaway's extravagantly staged and shot musical numbers are written by singer-songwriters Charlie XCX and FKA Twigs and producer Jack Antonoff, and they slay. Antonoff is Taylor Swift's go-to producer. This is good stuff in that regard. Members of Mary's girl gang are played by, among others, Hunter Schafer from Euphoria, Kaya Gerber, Jessica Brown Finley from Downton Abbey, and FKA Twigs. In fact, I don't believe a man has a single line of dialogue in the entire film, which is kind of strange.
What?
Yeah, there's no male dialogue. There are male dancers, but nobody says anything. It's just about the women. Lowery,
I thought you said that she seeks out this guy, Sam.
That's a woman. Michaela Cole played her.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, my God, Mark.
I don't know. How you said Sam?
Samantha.
Okay.
Anyway.
Got it. All right.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Lowery
previously
wrote and directed The Green Knight, The Old Man and the Gun, and Ghost Story, all of which were good. So I want to give him leeway. Mother Mary isn't as satisfying as those movies. It's an interesting experiment that falters as a coherent narrative. It's in select theaters.
She's great, though, that Anne Hathaway.
Oh, my God.
As you say, she's a great singer.
How
old is Anne Hathaway, Mike? You guessed Henry Winkler correctly.
42 or 43.
43. God, you are on a hot streak. Very well done. Go ahead. What's
what I got to do. Okay, this is another movie like Normal, but so radically different, but like Normal that I can wholeheartedly endorse. It's called Amram, and it's directed by the award-winning Turkish-German filmmaker Fatih Akin, and it's based on a true story, which is adapted from the childhood of Akin's co-writer of the film, a German director and author named Hark Bohm, and it's about his experiences living on the German island of Amram, which is in the North Sea, in the final months of World War II. So the focus is on this kid, a 12-year-old named Nanning, and he's kind of, I guess, the fictionalized version of Hark Bohm, and things are changing all around him. His mom is kind of a Nazi supporter, and she's kind of depressed because dad has been captured by the Brits, and she sees, Hitler's control is slipping away, et cetera, et cetera. And honestly, this is beautiful stuff. You see the daily ministrations of trying to live on this island, which incidentally is a longtime whaling community, and the kid actors are really wonderful. They're fishing for food, and actually the most familiar actor in the entire thing is Diane Kruger, who plays a local woman running a farm and trying to keep the island fed, and she's accused of being a traitor because she's grateful that the war is about to end. It's kind of intriguing in that regard. And by the way, I have to say the kids, I don't know what they're going to do professionally down the road, but the young children that play, I guess his name again is Nanning, which is a name I'm not really familiar with, and his best friend, they're really wonderful. Amram is in select theaters.
And it's in German, of course.
It is in German with subtitles. And you know what? It made me think
with
about...
Nazi subtitles?
No.
Well, he played the Nazi mom.
Jojo Dancer was a movie that also kind of dealt with a kid's view of World War II.
Oh, sure.
This is kind of, I think, a better... and I loved it.
Oh, better than that?
It is. But
that was a really good movie.
It's a more serious film, and it's a more gentle film.
I'm intrigued by this, Amram. I like Germany, and the Germans have, in my view, Michael, I don't mean to be political.
You do you.
But they've handled the post-World War II period responsibly. America could take a chapter from the Germans, in my view.
I would agree with that.
In terms of remembering the past.
Anyway, this is a fine film. It's in select theaters.
I don't mean to weigh down your segment with anything heavy. What's next?
Let's close out with one more foreign film that I got a big kick out of, and it's a little more tightly focused, and it isn't as expansive as something that actually tries to address, albeit in a subtle way, the horror of World War II. It's called Erupcja, and it's shot in Warsaw, Poland. And it features, of all people, in a central role, Charlie XCX as a young woman who's come from England on a romantic getaway with her boyfriend, and the boyfriend wants to propose. But this young woman has a relationship that she kind of abandoned and revisits occasionally in Warsaw. And that relationship is with another young woman who runs a flower shop. And they kind of reconnect, and it throws the boyfriend's plans to propose into
that's interesting.
Into the ether. And what you get a chance to see here is the younger generation in Warsaw, including kind of the hip art and nightlife scene. And you get these people interacting and doing their little dance of romance and yearning and loss and continuation. And one of the recurring images is of Mount Etna, which is erupting while this is happening.
Wow.
Mount Etna in Italy. And the character played by Charlie XCX and the other young woman who is played by a pretty wonderful actress, I assume she's Polish, Lena Gora. Apparently, every time they get together, there's a volcanic eruption somewhere on the planet. But
that's kind of wild.
It turns out that that's basically, there's usually one a week anyway. but I don't want to blow it. Jeremy O. Harris plays this kind of art student who has a party where the two women reconnect to the chagrin of the boyfriend. The boyfriend's played by Will Madden. This has been directed and written by Pete O's, and also the actors contribute, I think, some improvised dialogue. And I thought it was pretty damn good. It's a little movie. It's in limited release, but I thought
it sounds like it's one that'll make me smile.
Yeah,
I like those.
It's intriguing, and it's kind of, again, it's not grandiose or anything, but Erupcja.
It's in select theaters. Okay.
Yes, it's in select theaters. Really quickly before we get out of here,
please,
I want to endorse a TV series that I watched. I gobbled it up.
I love it when you endorse things.
What
is it?
Netflix, and a lot of endorsements today, except for political ones, because who's there to support? So Harry Hole is a character in the novels of musician and writer Joe Nesbo. And there was a movie called The Snowman, not a great movie, but it was adapted in 2017 with Michael Fassbender as Harry Hole. And Hole, by the way, looks like hole. So when I saw that Netflix had a series called Detective Hole, I thought, okay, I'm checking this out. And damn, it's good. And Harry Hole is a self-destructive but really brilliant Oslo police detective. And this series adapts one of the books in Nesbo's collection of them, The Devil's Star, and it stars, speaking of stars, Tobias Santelman as Harry, and the very wonderful Swedish-American actor Joel Kinnaman, who was one of the stars of the reboot of RoboCop and it was in The Killing and is currently in For All Mankind, another series that's running on streaming. And he plays Harry's fellow cop and nemesis, Tom Waller, and they're kind of pitted against one another in a complex case involving a serial killer who appears to be targeting women and taking out criminals in the process. I really got off on this thing. It's called Detective Hole, and it is on Netflix.
Wow. What a, your cup runneth over. What a bounty you've offered today, Culture Blaster.
Thank you, boss.
I'll review the Detective Hole film. It's a series, actually, on Netflix. He really likes it, featuring this lead character, Harry Hole. And you can find it and you can love it, as the Culture Blaster has indicated he loves it.
I think it's Hole.
All right.
But he's holy in my mind.
Eruptia is the film shot in Warsaw featuring Charlie XCX. Charlie is a woman, isn't Charlie?
Yeah, don't get confused again. Sam
I'm
is
just
a woman.
saying, Sam, you've got a lot of that today, just designed to throw me off. Featuring Charlie XCX reconnecting with a woman in a flower shop. Apparently, it's a lovely little film, and Michael really likes it, and I think I may go see it. How's that?
I'm shocked.
It's in select theaters. Amram is the Fatah Akin directed film, adapted from a book. Takes place on the German island of Amram.
I don't know if it's adapted from a book, but it's adapted from this guy's childhood.
I'm sorry. I thought it was memorialized in book form. Not the case.
Maybe, I don't know, but it's basically based on his
true
childhood
story
memories. Yeah.
Yeah.
True story.
Nanning is this young kid with a Nazi mom, and they're living on. I'm sorry,
baby.
that's what it is.
Well, she's a supporter.
Oh, okay, I'm just saying she's a supporter of the Nazi Party, and it's tough days on the island, and as the Allied troops begin to take hold of her husband and other aspects of their lives. He really likes it. Amram is in select theaters. Mother Mary is the film that marries all those aspects of pop music, of paranormal weirdness. Anne Hathaway singing. It's a crossroads in her career as an artist and a career of a musician. She's experienced mental and physical trauma. She seeks out Sam, who is a woman, Michaela Cole, and Michael felt it kind of missed a little bit. This is what I got from you, that she's a great singer, Anne Hathaway,
right,
and does a nice job with this film, but you just felt as though the film missed a little bit.
Yeah, the actors are fantastic, and if you need further endorsement of Michaela Cole, last week when you were off, I reviewed The Christophers, where she acts up against Ian McKellen, and it is a powerhouse film that I totally
And where
love.
is that film, The Christophers?
The Christophers is in
select theaters.
Yes,
You're
sir.
damn right. Normal is the wild, funny shoot 'em up with Bob Odenkirk as the action star. It is funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like dark humor and, the grisly, tongue-in-cheek. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's the interim sheriff named Ulysses. There's a bank robbery. Henry Winkler's in it. And it is in theaters. Michael liked it. And Lee Cronin's The Mummy is where we started. Child lost in Egypt 8 years later, re-emerging. He says it's a competent horror film. Not bad, but he likes other iterations of The Mummy more. The Mummy is in wide release. I'm a big fan of all of your stuff, Michael. I really am. May not seem that way, but I really am. And I'm grateful for your contributions, and I read your stuff. I think the written word is one of the great ways you express yourself. And so you can find Michael Snyder at thevoicesf.org. Read his musings that transcend the world of movies and streaming.
But in this case, for instance, this week we talk about The Christophers and the new Hamlet. So
very, very good.
Check it out.
Michael, any closing words before I bid you farewell?
Well, I'm not giving up on the Giants, and I'm extremely excited about the Dubs getting into this play-in game tonight, which is win and advance to the actual playoffs, lose and go home. And Steph, of course, is one of the great wonders of the athletic world, Steph Curry. We'll see how it goes this evening in Phoenix.
I'm seeing many people in the chat extolling the virtues of Nuremberg, the movie Nuremberg, which you had recommended some weeks ago.
Yes.
And it looks like many people have seen it and were quite taken by it. Cece says, I just watched Nuremberg. I'm still processing it. Yeah.
Great stuff. By the way, CC, I have not gotten a chance to watch Balls Up. I saw that Mark Wahlberg is one of the 2 stars, and I went, yeah, I don't know. It's only available on streaming, but I might take a look at it.
No. Please keep us posted on everything you do. Michael Snyder, the Culture Blaster, who comes and goes on a rainbow. Bye-bye, Culture Blaster.
Fare thee well, everybody, until next Friday.
Yes, always the best to see Michael in
The Mark Thompson Show.
the house.
This is Mark Thompson.